Because Nigeria has, in the global psyche, acquired this rather tainted image of being not just a corrupt state, but a state which has no central backbone, that it's a collection of peoples who represent different cultural heritages, and that there's been no endeavour to create a nation through government policy. Is that a position that you would say that has been part and parcel of Nigeria's problem, the inability of the state to advocate the importance of being a state and having a common heritage, a Nigerian heritage?
Well, part of it is bloated.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is propaganda. Mm-hmm. You find that there had been an international exertion at diminishing Nigeria. So many, the bad aspect of Nigeria had in most cases been celebrated. We have failed to identify the good ones, the good attributes of Nigeria, and give vent to it.
And what would those good attributes be?
There are some Nigerians who are very honest.
That there are some Nigerians
who are very honest. And then there are some Nigerians who are very just. Mm-hmm. Those people are not allowed to control the affairs of Nigeria. And then some of the international community that might want to continually suppress the exaltation of Nigeria would always like to flaunt and fan the embers of incompetencies, inadequacies of Nigeria. So that's why I'm saying that your postulations might not be correctly accepted 100%. That's why I use the word bloated. While I will not entirely dismiss the existence of pockets of those qualities you mentioned, I will resent that being accepted as the sine qua non, as we say in law.
But that very much is the reality here in the West in terms of how Nigeria is projected or is seen to be. And that is also reflected to some considerable degree by what is reported as far as what individual Nigerians are doing, whether they be governors, as the recent trial that we've had here in the UK of an ex-governor of Nigeria being sent to prison for having committed significant fraud in Nigeria. The argument being is that why doesn't the Nigerian judiciary have the wherewithal to put its own house in order? Why do we have to begin to do it here on the international stage? I mean, is that a justified criticism?
It is not justified. It is not justified because part of the problem was from the international community. The money that was said to have been embezzled were somewhat warehoused in the international community. Mm-hmm. The route, the transfers ended up in the international community. And they sat very coolly in the vaults of the international community for a very length of time. These things were not reported. Part of that case was that, as at the time, that was why I mentioned about the selection process. Part of the selection process was that the candidates ought to be screened. And one of the most important part of the screening was, were you convicted before? He never answered that question. He never answered it. And somebody who was very much apprised of his criminal history did raise a case with the federal government, trying to damn his acceptance for that high office. Because I'm very sensitive about it. Because most of them ply the Nigerian roots, and we tag them excellencies. In education, you have your fair, good, excellent. They are all excellencies. So for somebody to become that excellent, that question was very crucial. But then we were not availed of those criminal records. If the prison system in London had been so benign as to make it public that this man had once been convicted here for shoplifting, that would have done a lot. That would have helped us to make sure that that person doesn't control any government in Nigeria.
If I might,
But that leak ended up becoming a dam, which threatened at the very last minute to erode the rule of the country. So that is why I wouldn't like the whole blame to be situated on Nigeria.
what is the international community's benefit from maintaining Nigeria as a corrupt state, which is the essence of your argument?
Yeah, a lot. Sustenance of the local economy. Most Nigerians come to London, they buy houses. They lock up their houses for 9 months in a year. And these are supposed to be money for the poverty-stricken people of Africa. You drive along the streets of Lagos, you are in a jam. And some urchins, some hunger-stricken children surround your car, place their grimly fingers on your windscreen, and their fingers will be on your windscreen for just about a minute, and you see something like rivulets running down. It will not take you a strong imagination to know that these people have not been fed for a very long time. These are the children that are supposed to have good education. These are the children that are supposed to have unimpeded, unhampered access to medical facilities. These are the children who are supposed to be clothed. These are the children who are supposed to be housed. And yet an administrator corners a sizable portion of the federal government allocation to them and siphons it to the same Western country. And nothing is said about it. They pretend as if nothing is wrong. I've looked around the whole of Lagos. Lagos is beautiful. I've looked around Abuja. Abuja is more beautiful. But I can count on my fingers how many British lords own houses in Maitama, or how many nobles from France buy houses in Lekki. Heads of state from the Western world visit Africa and they stay in hotels. Then an administrator administers for only 6 months. He comes back to Nigeria and prides himself of owning a house next to the Queen's residence. That is an aberration. The West should help us to arrest that drift. The owners of that wealth are daily dying on the streets of Africa. That is where the responsibility.
So you would see the international community as having not just to acknowledge and share some of that responsibility, but to also responsible for helping Nigeria to resolve that.
Yes. That is the essence of Interpol. And if that responsibility was never envisaged to exist, there wouldn't have been any need for international police.